Okay, Paulie, thanks so much. Kumar, I see you in the house. Your interview begins in exactly. Kumar, I'm going to make you the presenter now. Let's see here. I have you, Kumar. That's still Steve. So, oh, here you are. Want to appreciate you coming. You know, everyone has an opinion. So, Kumar, thank you very much for joining the F.A.C.E community today. Looking forward to seeing your screen and hearing your voice. And there, I see a Bitcoin chart up there right away. How about some sound, buddy? Check the drop-down menu on your mic. Let me just see if you have your... Steve, maybe you could help me with this. Kumar, do you see the drop-down menu up on top? I don't know if you're using a mic.
I see.
Okay, beautiful.
I
you're
see
there.
that.
Okay, you're good.
It was me actually speaking.
Oh,
I see that he.
okay.
Yeah, I see that he is toying with his settings. But why don't you have a look at the settings in the GoToWebinar control panel? It's on your right-hand side. There is a tab called Audio. So under there, make sure
his mic is on.
Yeah. So make sure that you've selected the proper source from there, not only on your computer, on your Windows, but also on the GoToWebinar control panel.
You got that, buddy? Kumar, because you're not muted.
Right-hand side.
We got to see what kind of music Kumar listens to. I wondered when you trade Bitcoin, what you listen to. I thought it might
be the music from Titanic or Armageddon. I'm
Titanic, the music from Titanic, or it's a jungle. It's a jungle, maybe. Are you any luck, Kumar? Maybe you want to log out, come back in. You could try that.
I see your mouse cursor, and I still don't see if you going to the right hand side. I know that we can't see the GoToWebinar control panel because GoToWebinar makes sure that you don't transmit that. But have you checked your audio there?
You know what? I'm gonna take you off being a presenter, and then make you the presenter again. It says he's connected to audio.
Yeah, but to make sure that the proper audio source from the GoToWebinar control panel has been selected, that's the key.
Okay, so I'm going to try it again now. How about now? Any luck? He's a panelist.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. He's unmuted.
Okay. All right, I'm going to disconnect him from it. Does it miss? Is that you, Kumar? Okay.
No, that was me.
Okay, I'm going to try it again. No, I don't even see him in here.
Most likely he's trying to reconnect, Dale.
Yeah.
Which is a bad idea, to be honest.
Yeah.
So let's give him a minute. Yeah.
Kumar, if you're in the house, let me know. I don't see you under attendees right now. Oh, there you are. Okay, let's try this again. I'm making you the presenter. Let's see if we could get some sound this time. Was that you or Steve? Clearing your throat.
Oh, that wasn't me.
Oh,
there
Kumar.
Okay.
Okay, hi, Kumar.
Good.
Yes, how are you?
Okay, thank you for your persistence and tenacity.
Absolutely, I think.
Yeah, you definitely need that.
Finally worked out.
Yeah, you need that to be a trader. So I want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to talk to us about crypto and your website, the Rogue ICO Journal. I got a new follower. Is that also you, just straight ICO Journal? Or is that another company? Do you have two?
So the ICO Journal, I actually do the Bitcoin trading guidance for them. Yes, and
okay.
Yeah.
So what kind of life did you lead prior to going into to the dark side of crypto?
Oh boy.
What were you doing? Curious.
So previously, I did some day trading with S&P E-mini futures for quite a while, and I've owned several businesses prior to that. But yeah, I mean, cryptos came along. I saw the opportunity to trade and manage a portfolio of cryptos. However, that wasn't my intent. When cryptos did come along, the intent to actually get into cryptos was to teach others how to trade cryptos, as I had made a trading guidance plan, sort of a layout, and that sort of transformed into an entire system, entire suite of trading education stuff, and that was something I'd been working on for quite a number of years.
Yeah, so why don't we get in the time machine and tell us what you were doing before you started trading E-minis? Are you? I think I read, or where are you based?
So I'm based out of Nashville, Tennessee, and
okay.
right, and I had actually gone into wholesale distribution and marketing for energy drinks, energy shots.
Okay.
This and that. I actually had done that for a number of years. A business I had started in college had actually worked out. So I'm 30 years old, and I'd actually started this business, and it actually took off. So that became my career choice for a while. But had it not, I would have probably ended up working on Wall Street, or becoming an investment banker for a while.
Did the energy drink turn into an IPO, like bulletin board, pink sheet type of thing? And then and then I'd see guys like Carmelo Anthony endorse them. I mean, it was a big trend for a while. Energy drink.
I sort of wish it had gone that route, but it was a little more subtle. It was more of the taking small private label brands and pushing them across the southeastern United States. So yeah, but the Carmelo Anthony thing would have been far more exciting, but no.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, sounds like you've been trading the markets. What can I guess, say around 10 years or so?
Yeah, actually, going on 11. I started fairly young.
Oh my God, you got to call me Dale Pinkert then. That was a pretty good guess, or Kreskin, but you're too young for that. So, let's see. I think I'm getting the alarms here. Let's get the bell out of the way. Okay, so Kumar, so you sounds like you're a mentor, a coach, an educator. You and I share that in common. So why don't we talk about what kind of methodology you teach? Maybe you could go over your setup here on Bitcoin. I see you're a candlestick guy. It looks like you have some type of maybe falling wedge that would allow for one more washout in Bitcoin. You have a 5,200 number there. That would look attractive to me. And let's see. You like MACD and stochastic. So why don't you tell
Absolutely.
us about how your, did you have any mentors while you were learning or any books that influenced your technical trading and, to where you evolved to have your own style, but certain teachings or methods you learned elsewhere from someone?
Sure, absolutely. So, after being self-taught for the first, several years, through my college years, I was actually able to meet and shadow under a venture capitalist, and his prior, he's probably in his late 60s at the time, but in his prior life, his career choice was actually being a futures trader himself. So, I got a lot out of, that relationship for a number of years as well. And
how fortunate compared to all the things that people have to discern through now on the internet.
Right. All the noise and everything. And actually, I was able to just filter through all of that. Actually, to be honest with you, he was able to filter through a lot of that for me, and was able to give some guidance as well when I made a choice to switch over to cryptos for a while, because naturally being 70 plus years old now, is not so much of a fan, right? And he's asking, what the heck are you doing here? But again,
he thinks a wallet is made out of leather.
Like absolutely
me. Right.
So, right. I'm gonna kind of go over the trade setups and everything here with you.
Okay.
But before that, I kind of want to say with cryptos, I noticed earlier you guys were kind of talking about the volatility and it sort of breaking people out, and that's absolutely true. That's a core part of everything that I do and how I trade cryptos, is watching that volatility and making sure that you don't get snapped out, because the downside in crypto, even short term, is what stops a lot of people out. And if you notice, even in the long-term downtrends, your wicks are incredibly huge. And, that's not something people are traditionally used to. So, again, as I go along the way, you'll notice I may speak a bit about how to, place your risk tolerance. I think that's something a lot of people should learn, how to understand your risk tolerance.
Is leverage a big part of it?
Well, yeah, it is. But even for, the inexperienced person that's...
Are you there?
Hello, Dale?
Yeah, got you. You're back.
There goes that mic again.
Okay, so we were basically talking about risk, how to manage risk, and you're talking about very big candles, a lot of stop hunts by whoever is trading both sides of the market at these crypto exchanges. Do you feel comfortable leaving large balances wherever you trade crypto?
I do, and
Sounds
I don't.
Like a
it
no.
Just depends. No, it just depends on what it is I'm trading, how it's been, trending. Am I trend trading? Because I've been known to swing trade and even trade against the trend and hit pivot plays. But if I'm absolutely trading the trend, I classify something as a low risk trade, even though I would tell general run-of-the-mill person trying to get into crypto that, look, there's nothing low risk in crypto, but when I classify certain trades, there's some that I say low risk, such as trend trades, and those I am a little more comfortable in leaving larger positions holding in. So it just depends if I'm doing
those are positions though. What about cash? Unless you're fully margined out.
Am I comfortable with holding cash, large cash
at those exchanges? Like, say you have a position, you liquidate it, you're back into fiat. Do you keep it there or you pull it?
I keep it there. I just for me, I've just never really had any issues. I know there's been many, but until I have one, who am I to say I shouldn't?
Yeah.
I guess I just have a lot of trust in things sometimes, but and again, I'm a millennial. My train of thought may be a little bit different than a lot of people. So
Yeah, you guys don't even really like to talk, do you? You'd rather text.
Right.
Isn't that true? Huh?
It is. I was texting you, I think, and I didn't get a response other than through email, right? So
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to shut up for a while, which is unusual. And why don't you take us through what you're seeing here in Bitcoin now, and
sure.
and how you would mentor somebody on the current market setup here in Bitcoin.
Absolutely. I'm going to try and keep it a little short and sweet here, but this is a general. This is the daily candle chart for Bitcoin. Obviously, 2018, which kicks off right here, has brought a lot of downside, and it stayed in a consistent downtrend after the run up to close to 20K, as everybody probably already knows. And now we've stayed in sort of this falling wedge pattern that's played out well and consistently over the course of the year, and it's funny because every major pivot and peak, you have the entire market feeling that Bitcoin's going to go on this entirely different bull run that will just, so to speak, shoot to the moon. Dale, I'm sure being on Twitter, you can understand that the shoot to the moon phrase being used in crypto, that's come along at every one of these points, and just kills me because
or hold on for dear life.
Hold on for dear life, we're the hodlers, today.
And that's what they're doing right now, and hoping that 6,200 holds or 6,300.
Absolutely. Okay. So at each of these points, again, the technicals have played in very well. This downtrend has kept intact, and this downtrend line currently today resides at about, I think for today's trading, I have it set at about 6,900, probably plus or minus 20 points or so. Okay. Now here's the interesting thing that I've found with Bitcoin. So the last couple downside legs, so as you can see here on my screen, we had a higher low registered here where the circle is. Okay, so the previous low, and when I say higher low, I am specifically talking about candle close and open. So
no wicks.
I'm not talking about the wicks right now. Right.
Okay, got you.
So that is a core part of my system. I can go on about wicks and use those wicks to determine certain pivot points on shorter time frames. However, right now on the daily, I'm speaking purely of the body of the candle. So right here, we were looking at about 58.50, I believe, and this last leg down, we were looking at about 61.40. So, more or less, we're looking at 100 points up from the last leg down. Now, for me, that's very important, of course, because you've registered a higher low in a clear downtrend. Okay. After the retracement up to hit that upper trend line, and as everybody can see, it hit almost perfectly right on the head here at about 73.60.
Another higher low, second higher low.
We have a lower high, excuse me. Yeah, we have another lower high right here, and we've come back to kind of test this level out again. And I've actually had this drawn out for anybody that follows the ICO journal and reads the daily commentary. This has served as an important level right here. This 62.50 mark, although slightly broken, has served as a pivotal area for the last month. Now, why? So the last downfall we had, again, 61.40, I think I said, somewhere in this range. Mm-hmm. We have not hit that again. We had a higher low right here, and I'm going to go ahead and use the candle open at 63.97 to share that.
Okay, so that's your second higher low.
Right.
Macro. Okay.
Now what we just saw in the last, what is this, about the 18th of this month, what we just saw was 62.51 on the candle open here on the green here. 6251. Now, I had a clear-cut, defined track that said, look, if we're going to hold the 6250 level, which is this dotted line right here, if we're going to hold that level, there is potential for some upside, which we had, and now we're going back down with Bitcoin. So where does all that lead us? Well, that 6250 level is serving as a very important price pivot line. Now, support and resistance, I do use, consistently. I've got my level set here at, they're on 400-point bands right now. So we've got 6K, 6,400, and 6,800, which have played out very well. But that 6250 level right in between is serving as an important mark. And I'm going to cater to the bulls right now because I don't necessarily, just bet for one side. I try and give both opinions. But for the bullish case, it's been an entire year as I've been providing guidance and watching, and I could say, look.
So you're constructive as long as we hold 6250.
As long as we hold 6250. Now, reason being, again, this is registering another higher low right now for Bitcoin overall on a daily scale. And that higher low is also coming very close to the long-term upper trend line, which is riding, again, at about 6,900 today. However, here in the next few days, as we see price action sort of climb, I think we're going to see that 6,800 level met. And again, that coincides with, the major resistance level. Here's another thing. So at 6,800, we officially take back half or more than half of this previous leg down right here. And if Bitcoin can actually break that and hold that support, I think this will be the first time the bulls can kind of rejoice, as there may be some upside action coming. And, the large scale picture of Bitcoin is very interesting to me because, Dale, you were around, and there's probably a lot of viewers that were around during the tech crash, because there's a lot of things about it that look eerily similar to the NASDAQ, during the tech crash, and, the track that the NASDAQ went on. The only difference is when I do the comparison, obviously, Bitcoin is moving at about a 10x multiple than the crash did during the tech crash for the NASDAQ here. So I want to go over, a couple tools and tips, maybe, Dale, unless you had some other questions on how I actually go about looking and trading these cryptos.
Go ahead.
So I'm going to actually move over to some charts I have for you guys here, and how everything works out. So this is a Bitcoin price chart, and the system I use, I'm going to go ahead and call it the Rogue Wave system on social media. That's what we call it, and that's what my users are accustomed to. So in Rogue Waves, I actually use a 3-wave system. And that 3-wave system consists of 2 pivot areas. There's about a 1/3 and a 1/2, and it's also calculated by the range of the previous leg. So we've got the low and the high, and then I calculate my pivots. So, for example, in this Bitcoin pivot here, there was a high that hit about 6,400 a while ago, and retraced to about 6260, 20 points shy of the 6240 pivot. So,
do you physically put stop loss orders in on your trades, or are they mental stops?
That's a good question. I don't, because again, generally speaking, there's times where that volatility in one candle, whether it be a 15-minute candle or a 4-hour candle, will wipe you out, right?
Okay, well, what if it doesn't reverse and it keeps going and you have no stop in? Then what happens? Does that wipe you out too?
No. Now, here's the thing. I do have a couple ways to manage my risk, and again,
that's everything, isn't it, buddy?
I will, right. So I will use a general rule of thumb where I'll say, okay, the upside here that I'm looking at is about, let's say, 8% on that's what I aim to gain off of this. So my downside should be limited to, let's say, 3.5%, and it depends on what item I'm trading. So like for Bitcoin, general rule of thumb, I don't aim to lose more than 2 or 2.5%. However, if I'm trading smaller time frames and I'm sitting there watching, that may differ a little bit. And my stops, yes, will generally be tighter. I do put a stop if it's overnight trading, because unfortunately I do have to go to bed at some point.
Right.
So those are the times when I'm looking at putting in stops. Other than that, it's about risk tolerance, how much you're willing to lose, and support and resistance. Is price action going to break support and keep going? If so, my stops place well under support, and that just has come with experience, knowing where to place it. Where the last few pivot areas are. I'll go back maybe a month and say, okay, when it broke this level before, this is where it pivoted last time. Let me put my stop right below here. That's within the 3% guideline. So,
well, I think this would be a good time for you to possibly show your website and how people could get a hold of you, and what your business model is for teaching, or if you have a trading room, and I tell you what, go ahead, cover Monero, and then we'll go. And,
I could go on. Honestly, I could go on for days. I've got.
All right. Okay.
And these are just a few examples.
I noticed on your website you have like a whole watch list, so I'm sure you have.
I do, and I've played all the smaller altcoins, giving guidance for everyone. This is another prime example. Trading with the Rogue Wave system. When price breaks into the channel, retraces it, let's say a third here, and I'd have a price target, sell at 88.50. And of course, generally, I'm right about 86% of the time right now, according to the trades I've placed live on Twitter, actually. So if you'd like to follow on Twitter,
that's a hell of a hit rate.
It has been. It has been. I say I've been a little bit lucky as well, but
what's your worst drawdown?
My worst drawdown to date was 14%.
Okay.
Right here, 14%, and
manageable.
Manageable, right? It was
not fun.
High risk. No, it was actually I believe it was on MFT, so not fun, and I allowed my risk tolerance to break there, but it happens, occasionally, but I don't let it happen very often. We're human. So I will take you guys there. So this is where I'm writing. This is where, if you'd like to follow along and see Bitcoin trading guidance, maybe sign up for the newsletter, and they've got plenty of extras here. Of course, the Bank of America story with Merrill Lynch. You've got just several good pieces, CBOE stuff going on, the ETF chatter, and of course the Bitcoin trading guidance I provide daily. So please do follow if you guys have the chance. It's theicojournal.com, and of course you can go straight to my Twitter page at Rogue ICO Journal.
What football game were you watching there, buddy?
Right here. Oh, none. I think that was the I think that was the homepage. It must have been someone else. But Rogue ICO Journal, daily guidance. I do it around the clock, 7 days a week, and it's free, as well as the ICO Journal stuff. I do it because I love it. I do it because I want to help everyone out there, and I do it because it's exciting. It's cryptos. It's fast paced. It's fun, and there's a lot of chatter behind it. And if you're not interested in it, I don't know what you could possibly be interested in, because it's just so thrilling that Dale Pinkert had to reach out to me to kind of give my 2 cents about it. So it must.
Yeah, and you know what? It was right? Your 2 cents. It's worth at least a dime. All right. So I do want to thank you, Kumar. Really a pleasure to meet you. And I'm like the guy that was helping you, that was a venture capitalist. To me, a chart is a chart is a chart. The only difference is beta and leverage. But, some of the fundamentals, I really think that if you are a crypto trader, you almost have to make it full time, because I've been interviewing some
Absolutely.
crypto people, and some have said, look for the fiat moves out of Korea and Japan. That came before Ripple popped. So there's so many nuances besides your charts to keep an eye on, and so many new things happening all the time that I think if you trade crypto, it's got to be like a full-time thing for you, and any other asset class becomes part-time, right?
Absolutely. And, one thing I'd like to say, just as a side note, to the viewers, is that anything happening within the crypto world, now this is just me personally, but anything that's happening in the crypto world, as far as the ICO market, the news and chatter, what banks and regulations are doing, any of this stuff, I'm going to be totally honest with you guys, and I say this on Twitter quite often. I don't look at any of that. I don't take any of that in. I trade cryptos, and I've traded them successfully now since beginning of the year, let's say late 2017. I trade them with nothing but technicals. I don't have any news pop-ups, any noise. I keep it simple, just technicals, and it works. This is something great my mentor gave me, and I'll leave you guys with this. Said technicals will always work if you trust them to and you understand them enough, because one thing that never lies is the math. Everything else and anyone else will always lie to you, but math never lies, and that still holds true in crypto.
Yeah.
So.
The markets are geometry, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've always said that if you could add, subtract, multiply, and divide, you could trade. Keep it that simple. So, you're now my trading warrior brother and one of my go-to guys for crypto now, Kumar.
Absolutely.
And, thanks so much for dropping in. And I hope that pips rain down on you and your followers, everyone you're teaching during this fall trading season. And please keep in touch.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. And, thank you for providing such a great web show.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for, sharing your views and some ideas on Bitcoin, and you look to be a great resource. So thanks for coming in to be a resource and share your resources with us. Okay, buddy?
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Good hunting. And that's a wrap, everybody. See you in the private chat for the Fed. Thank you once again, Kumar, and everyone can follow Kumar at Rogue ICO Journal or at his website, theicojournal.com. I recommend it if you want to trade crypto. Here's another great source for you. Okay, adios, everyone, and remember, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. See you for the Fed. Thanks again, Kumar.